In today's lecture, we are going about the sample and hold circuit, which is one of the applications of op amps. Now, as far as the name goes, sample and hold. This circuit actually samples an input, holds on to its last sampled value until the input is sampled again. So this is the basic working of a sample and hold circuit. Next, the circuit consists of an E MOSFET that works as a switch. It is controlled by a sample and hold control voltage Vs, and a capacitor C serves as the storage element. The last 3 points we'll just see it in the next diagram. What we need to keep in mind is that we have an E MOSFET in the circuit which is acting as a switch, and this E MOSFET is controlled by a sample and hold control voltage Vs, and there is a capacitor C which is serving as the storage element. Let's look at the circuit. Now, if you just look at it, we talked about an E MOSFET which is being controlled by Vs, the sample and hold control voltage, and the input is applied to the drain of the MOSFET, and this capacitor C is serving as the storage element. That is, the voltage across the capacitor is actually reflected as the output of the sample and hold circuit. Now, to get deep into the operation, the analog signal Vin to be sampled is applied to the drain. I just showed in the diagram. Sample and hold control voltage Vs is applied to the gate of the E MOSFET. That also I indicated in the diagram. During the positive portion of the Vs, E MOSFET conducts and acts as a closed switch. This allows the input voltage to charge the capacitor which appears at the output. Let's take another look at the circuit. Now, input signal, the input voltage is applied to the drain of the MOSFET, and the control signal, the control voltage is applied to the gate of the E MOSFET. What happens is that when the gate has positive voltage, the gate is actually the E MOSFET is conductive, it is in the on state. So any signal that is appearing across the drain is through and through passed to the source, and this charges the capacitor C over here. Whatever the voltage is at the input will be appearing across the capacitor. Now, this is for the positive half, that is during the positive cycle of the control voltage. When negative cycle of the voltage appears, or it is zero, it is a pulse, so it is some high volts or 0 volts. So when this particular signal becomes 0, the gate is applied connected to this, so this particular E MOSFET becomes off, it becomes switch, it behaves like an open switch. So any signal that is appearing at the D will not be through and through the source and won't be actually appearing at the capacitor. Now capacitor is connected to the positive terminal of the op amp, and we know that internal resistance of the op amp is very high, it is infinity ideally. So the capacitor can actually discharge through this point, but since it has infinite resistance, that this path is also closed for it, it cannot discharge through this path. So any voltage that is there and the capacitor is held on to that state until the next positive voltage at the control voltage appears. When the next time gate will be conducting, again the instantaneous value of the input signal will come to the drain, will be passed on to the capacitor, and that will again take on the values of the input voltage. So this is the entire action of the sample and hold circuit. In words we can write down again, or we can say it, that we have discussed so far that during positive portion of the Vs, E MOSFET conducts and acts as a closed switch. This allows input voltage to charge the capacitor which appears at the output, and when Vs is 0, the E MOSFET is non-conductive and acts as an open switch. The only discharge path for C is through the op amp, but the input resistance of op amp voltage follower is very high, so the voltage across C is retained. So we were talking about sample and hold circuit, which samples an input and holds until the next sample is taken. So this is what exactly is happening. It is sampling the input signal when this is Vs is positive going or of positive value, and the capacitor C charges. So this is holding, this particular is charging and actually sampling the signal. As soon as this goes 0, the control signal goes 0. The input signal does not pass through, but the capacitor is holding the last value constantly. So this is what exactly in words we had defined what a sample and hold circuit is. So this is how we obtain the operation. Next, when we talk about sample and hold circuits, two important terms come in: sample periods and hold periods. Let us first see what is sample period. In words, we'll say the time period Ts of the sample and hold voltage Vs, during which the voltage across the capacitor is equal to the input voltage. So it is the time period Ts of the sample and hold voltage Vs, during which voltage across the capacitor is equal to input voltage. Similarly, what is a hold period? It is the time period Th of the sample and hold voltage Vs, during which the voltage across the capacitor is constant. Okay, just let us take a look at the input and output waveforms. The input signal, the first waveform is the input signal, Vn in the y-axis and T against in the x-axis. The control voltage Vs is a pulse, on period, off period, and the output voltage, which is actually equal to the voltage that appears across the capacitor, is shown in this. So V0 is equal to Vc, that is the capacitor voltage across the capacitor, is in the y-axis along time. So we are showing actually the input to output relation over here also. So whenever actually the MOSFET is on, that is for the positive values of the control signal Vs, MOSFET is on, and whenever the MOSFET is on, you can see that V0 is taking the values or tracing the values of the input signal. Okay, now when, and the duration for which the voltage across the capacitor is equal to the input signal is Ts, that is the sample period. Now when the value of the Vs, the signal Vs, control signal Vs is 0, MOSFET is turned off. Now when it is turned off, you can see that output voltage is no more tracing the input values, or the capacitor voltage is not equal to the input signal, rather it is at the constant value at which it was in the previous state till here. So it is holding up to this. So this period during which the voltage across the capacitor is constant is called hold period. Ts sample period, Th hold period. So this is what is happening every time you see whenever during the sampling period the output signal will be exactly replicated in the over here also replicated value of the input signal. This is there, again it is tracing at that value only, again when it is on, if you see it is this. So again this period is also tracing this value, and otherwise during the whole periods if you see it is constant, again then for the whole period next over a year it is constant, and again it is constant. So this is what we actually are talking about sample and hold circuit. Now the applications of sample and hold circuit is basically in digital interfacing and communications, especially in analog and digital converters and pulse modulation systems. Whenever there is digital interfacing means analog to digital conversion is required, that, and for communications also digital communication. So that part, whenever this conversion is required from analog to digital, we are using this sample and hold, because if you see the continuous value is being divided into quantized samples, which is the first step of pulse coded modulation or digitization of analog signal. Uh, we know that op amps are actually being used for this, and there are specially designed sample and hold ICs using op amps. And these particular ICs have specific advantage because they significantly reduce the size. If we try to design it using a simple op amp 741 and all that, it will be quite a bulky thing. But the specially designed ICs have reduced size and improved performance. And the IC number is LF398, and it requires an external storage capacitor. Let's take a look at the functional diagram and the typical connection diagram also. Actually, normally actually sample and hold circuit comes in with the comparator portion or application of op amps. So if you look at this, let's expand. If you look at this, we have there are 8 pins actually. You can't see anywhere, you can't trace out 1 and 4 over here. You have 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So 8 pins, and 1 and 4 are left because 1 and 4 are positive and negative supply respectively. We'll look into the pin connections at that time, we can find out that. So it has been left out that ways. And what we do is actually 3, terminal 3 over here, pin number 3 is analog input. So analog input is basically the signal that is being sampled. This is known as the analog input. Now logic input to pin number 8. Logic input is basically the control signal Vs that we were talking about. That is the logic input. Now logic reference is applied to 7. Now for this particular application sample and hold, we don't need reference. For comparators, we need a reference value. So that is why we have this pin called reference input, because whenever we need to compare the voltage with respect to another voltage which is fixed, which is termed as reference, is being actually applied here with respect to what. But since we are not using a comparator circuit here, we are using it as sample and hold. This particular 7 will be actually connected to 6, will be shorted to 6, and this 6 actually is used for holding the external capacitor, the capacitor which will actually be connected over here, and 7th pin will be connected to other end of the capacitor. So that is how we are taking in the reference, actually the voltage across the capacitor, and the output is taken across pin 5. Let's take at the connection diagram. Now if you look at it, I just discussed about in the functional block diagram. Analog input is applied to 3. Analog input is the signal that we are going to sample, and logic input is the actually control signal which is switching on and off the eMOSFET internally. So this is applied to the logic input. 7th pin, which was for the reference, is actually connected to the other end of the capacitor, and the capacitor, the whole capacitor point is 6. The capacitor is connected over here and reference point is kept to the other end of the capacitor. So the exact voltage that we get is with reference to the capacitor only. So that is the output that is derived. So output is actually across the capacitor only. So whenever, if you refer to the diagram, the input output waveforms, you will perhaps remember that the output waveform was V naught is equal to Vc. So why? Because V naught is actually equal to the voltage that is appearing across the capacitor, and that I had already mentioned that we were missing out pin 1 and 4. So 1 is connected to positive supply and 4 is connected to negative supply. So this is all about the specially designed ICs for sample and hold. The basic function has been dealt. Now we come to the question. Review. Reviewing questions, what we have studied so far. What is a sample period? What is hold period? The definitions. Why doesn't the capacitor discharge when the sample and hold control voltage is 0? Because there is no discharge path. That has to be kept in mind. So normally what happens is whenever a capacitor is being charged, once the charging current falls below or stops, immediately it starts discharging, because that is the nature of capacitor. But since it does not get a path to discharge, so it holds. So that is there and has to be explained in words. which IC is used for sample and hold circuit, that I have given you. Just take a recap first and attempt the questions that has been given to you. Write it down if possible, and without referring to the videos or slides again and again. Go through the entire thing once, and once you finish this set of question, actually it will be more than enough, and it is implied that the whole part that we have discussed so far regarding the sample and hold circuit, its operation, its diagram, and its basic definitions, then it is well understood if you can answer these questions without looking back or referring back into the video. So that is all. Thank you.